This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 34, The 3 Keys to Side Hustle Satisfaction, by Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. And welcome to Optimal Startup Daily. My name is Dan, and I am your host here. I'm here every single day reading to you from some of the best blogs on entrepreneurship. And for now, let's get right to our post from Nick Loper as we optimize your life. Not loving your day job? The 3 Keys to Side Hustle Satisfaction, by Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. Even though they say money can't buy happiness, we all want to earn more, right? Money is a huge motivator at work and at home, but it might surprise you that according to author and speaker Dan Pink in his best-selling book Drive, compensation isn't the only or even the main key to worker happiness. Instead, the trifecta of autonomy, mastery, and purpose forms the base of a fulfilling career, no matter your field. These 3 factors are internal rather than external motivators and promise deeper and longer-lasting satisfaction than monetary incentives can. The acronym that I use to remember them is AMP, because when you've got all 3, you're probably feeling pretty amped. And the best part is, when you get amped, you naturally get happy. Let's go. Autonomy. According to Drive, autonomy is the desire to direct our own lives. From infancy, humans are imbued with a sense of individualism and a desire to explore the world around them. This intrinsic sense of control over oneself and one's actions extends to the working world. People want the ability to make their own decisions and have the freedom to direct their own work and learning. Autonomy can be reflected by businesses that allow their workers to set their own schedules, free from micromanagement and rigid structure. In my work at Ford, I enjoyed a certain level of autonomy, perhaps more than most other entry-level positions. I had a company car and could decide my own schedule and arrange my own travel. Naturally, I still had to work to achieve the goals of the division and the company, but I had a fair amount of freedom in how I got that done. Of course, I love to be able to decide what to work on every day when I wake up now, but it's the biggest catch-22 of self-employment. You can steer your own ship, and it's awesome. But there's also no one else to tell you where or how to steer, and it can be a challenge. One reason why a mastermind can be so valuable. How can autonomy work inside a bigger corporation? How about this example from a recent flight I took on Southwest? Our flight attendant clearly loved his job. He was cracking jokes the entire time, and even though he was legally required to go over the safety requirements of the plane, he had the autonomy to do it his way. Mastery. Pink states in Drive that mastery is the urge to get better and better at something that matters. Note that both parts are equally important, the drive for improvement and doing something that matters. It might be easy to master some menial task, but you may not feel mastery if you don't feel you're adding some unique skill to it. I struggled with this at Ford. I was passable at my job, but I wasn't amazing. One thing that was cool about it was that no 2 days were alike, and I was constantly learning, meeting new people, and getting better. But something was still missing. I certainly wanted to be awesome at work because why would I want anything less? But while my peers were already masters or building mastery quickly, I remained relatively stagnant. It was frustrating, and it was probably compounded by the fact that I didn't have any ownership over what tasks I was supposed to achieve. It was stuff like, last year the dealers in your zone sold batteries to 2% of the cars they serviced. We think it should be 5%. Seems a little arbitrary, right? At least now when I'm chasing down my own goals, I get to pick the numbers. Employers can best incorporate a sense of mastery by encouraging learning, growth, and tackling new challenges and responsibilities. But if that's not going to happen at the 9 to 5, I propose finding a side hustle that lets you pursue mastery on your own terms. Blogging is a great example for me. Each week, I get to try and improve my writing and share some hopefully useful and interesting stuff with you. Getting better at something that matters. Check and check. Purpose. Purpose, as defined by Pink, is the yearning to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves. This is the strongest of all intrinsic motivators, as a deep conviction will drive workers to go above and beyond when fulfilling their tasks, and is the key to lasting satisfaction with one's work. And this is also where the wheels fell off of my job at Ford, pun intended. No matter how much corporate Kool-Aid I drank, I had a hard time convincing myself of the greater purpose of my role. And I don't mean that in the selling cars to people who don't need them sort of way. Business is business. I have no problem with that. but I mean it more in the sense like, if I don't show up today, will it make any meaningful impact to the bottom line of any of my customers or even the company? Not even a blip on the radar. To me, that was purpose. I wanted to see the direct impact of my efforts on the bottom line and my paycheck, and it wasn't happening. Thankfully, I found a side hustle that scratched that itch, and I'm confident you can too. Purpose doesn't have to be about saving the whales or feeding the hungry, though it certainly can be. Purpose can simply be about helping people, and a side hustle is a perfect way to do that. Your turn. Take a look at your day job. Do you have autonomy, mastery, and purpose? Are you amped? If your 9 to 5 isn't doing it for you, consider these factors and find a side hustle that will. You'll be more satisfied with life and excited to get up each day. You just listened to the post titled, Not Loving Your Day Job? The 3 Keys to Side Hustle Satisfaction by Nick Loper of SideHustleNation.com. And you know, what Nick was talking about today is so true, and it's exactly why our team here has been able to stick to podcasting for almost 5 years now. Our producer, Justin, who's also the host at Optimal Living Daily, has talked about how he usually jumps around from idea to idea, but podcasting these last few years has met all of these requirements, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, so it's finally something that he's stuck with. Granted, it's not easy, but it's more fulfilling than those other projects, and that one show idea just about 5 years ago has now turned into a collection of 6 different podcasts. We now cover personal development on one show, finance on another, plus health, relationships, and we've even got a questions and answers show covering life in general. So to find all 6 of those podcasts and to see just how far Justin and Lee have been able to take this passion for podcasting, just search for Optimal Living Daily in your favorite podcast app, and then be sure to hit subscribe or follow, which is a big help to keep all of this going. All right, I'm going to leave it at that for today. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.